If you peeled off all your skin, how long would you survive without it? Without skin, the body immediately loses its main barrier to the outside world. Skin is easy to overlook because it works quietly, but it plays several critical roles at the same time. Skin is the largest organ in the human body. In an average adult, it covers about 1.5 to 2 square meters, roughly the size of a small blanket. It weighs around 3 to 4 kilograms, which is about 15% of total body weight. Its thickness varies depending on location. On the eyelids, skin can be as thin as 0.5 millimeters. On the palms of the hands and soles of the feet, it can be up to 4 millimeters thick. That variation isn't just random, it reflects how much protection each area needs. First, one of skin's most important jobs is holding fluid inside the body. The human body is made of about 60% water, and skin acts like a seal that prevents that fluid from constantly evaporating or leaking out. Without skin, internal moisture is no longer contained. Second, it also helps regulate body temperature. Skin controls how much heat leaves or enters the body by adjusting blood flow, sweat production, and insulation. Third, it acts as a barrier. It keeps bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms from reaching internal tissue. Fourth, it protects nerves and helps manage sensation, preventing the nervous system from being overwhelmed by constant stimulation. In the first moments after peeling your skin, the body would still be functioning. But just because the systems are still running doesn't mean they're stable. Without skin, the body immediately enters a state where it has to compensate for multiple failures at once. Even if you don't feel it yet, the stress has already begun. The first major problem is temperature and the body's moisture. Skin isn't just holding water in like a wrapper. Beneath it is a huge network of blood vessels. Once that barrier's gone, fluid begins shifting out of the bloodstream itself, lowering blood volume. The body is about 60% water, and that water needs to stay inside the bloodstream and tissues. Without skin, this fluid begins to leak. As moisture escapes, blood volume begins to drop. Even a 10% loss of blood volume can cause serious drops in blood pressure. As circulation weakens, organs receive less oxygen. At the same time, heat leaves the body more easily. Normally, skin helps regulate heat by controlling blood flow and sweat. Without it, heat transfer becomes uncontrolled. In a cool environment, body temperature can begin dropping within minutes. Once core temperature falls below 35 degrees Celsius, hypothermia begins. In a hot environment, heat builds up quickly, and above 40 degrees Celsius, organs begin to fail. Moisture loss and temperature instability reinforce each other. As dehydration progresses, the body becomes less able to regulate heat. As temperature drifts, organ systems struggle to maintain fluid balance. Without skin, the body's losing both water and temperature control at the same time. At this point, survival doesn't follow one timeline, it splits. The room you're in determines which system fails first. If you were in a cold room around 10 degrees Celsius, your body would start losing heat almost right away. Skin normally helps trap warmth. Without it, heat escapes fast. Your core temperature could begin dropping within minutes. Once it falls below 35 degrees Celsius, hypothermia starts. The heart slows down. The brain doesn't work as well. In a cold room, temperature would likely become the first serious problem. In a hot room, around 35 degrees Celsius, the opposite happens. Your body would start gaining heat quickly. Normally, skin helps cool you down by controlling blood flow when sweating. Without it, your body can't regulate heat properly. If your core temperature rises above 40 degrees Celsius, organs begin to struggle. In that case, overheating would probably happen before infection becomes fatal. As body temperature moves away from normal, enzymes inside cells stop working the way they should. These enzymes control chemical reactions that keep muscles contracting, nerves firing, and organs functioning. When enzyme activity drops or becomes unstable, the entire system starts to lose coordination. The heart may struggle to maintain a steady rhythm. Muscles weaken. The brain becomes less efficient at processing information. Temperature alone can push the body toward failure. Unlike many injuries, this isn't something the body can adapt to or power through. Without skin, there's no mechanism to bring temperature back under control. While temperature control is failing, the second major problem is building in the background. Human skin hosts around 1 trillion bacteria across its surface. On average, there can be millions of microbes on every square centimeter. Most of these are harmless because skin keeps them outside the body. The air around us also contains microbes. Even in a clean indoor room, there are thousands of airborne bacteria per cubic meter of air. On surfaces like tables, clothing, and floors, microbial life is constant. Without skin, there's nothing stopping them from reaching internal tissue. This doesn't mean a single infection starts right away. It means exposure becomes constant. The immune system is suddenly forced to respond to threats from all directions at once. Instead of fighting one infection, it has to deal with many. This constant exposure overwhelms normal immune defenses. The body simply isn't built to operate without a physical barrier separating it from its surroundings. As exposure continues to bacteria, the immune system reaches its limits. White blood cells are used faster than they can be replaced. Infections that would normally be harmless become serious threats. Without skin, there's no way to isolate damaged areas or slow the spread of bacteria. The immune response itself becomes damaging. Inflammation increases, which adds more stress to organs already struggling with temperature instability. The body enters a state where it's fighting too many battles at once. So death would most likely come from a combination of uncontrolled infection and system-wide failure. As temperature regulation collapses and the immune system fails, organs stop working altogether. The body loses its ability to maintain balance. But for a short period, the person may still seem conscious and responsive. This is similar to what happens in radiation exposure or certain types of poisoning. Damage is happening at the cellular and systemic level, but the outward signs lag behind. This delay can create the illusion that survival might be possible. In reality, the systems holding the body together are already breaking down. Clothing would help, actually, but only partially. If you were wrapped in clean fabric, it would slow heat loss and reduce evaporation. In a cold room, clothing could delay hypothermia. In a hot room, loose fabric might reduce direct heat gain slightly. It would also act as a temporary physical barrier against some bacteria in the air. However, clothing cannot replace skin. It cannot seal blood vessels, it cannot regulate sweating or blood flow. And with fluid leaking from exposed tissue, fabric would quickly absorb that fluid and begin sticking to your body. That means it wouldn't remain a protective layer for long. Clothing might buy time, but it would not make survival possible. So how long would you survive without skin? If the entire skin surface were removed, the earliest life-threatening problem would most likely be fluid loss. In severe burn cases, covering more than 60% of the body, rapid plasma leakage can lead to hypovolemic shock within hours if untreated. So, in realistic conditions, fluid loss would likely be the first fatality to kill you in approximately 1 to 3 hours. Even if we ignore fluid loss, survival would still be short. Without skin, the body cannot control temperature or protect itself from infection. Without advanced medical care, these failures progress quickly. You would likely die in between 12 to 48 hours. This isn't because the body is fragile. It's because skin performs too many essential functions to lose at once. So, at the end of the day, skin isn't just a layer. It's infrastructure which keeps the body stable, protected, and balanced in an environment that would otherwise destroy it. Survival doesn't end from pain. It ends when the systems holding life together fail. So here's a tip. Maybe don't peel your skin off.